If you've decided you want to shoot in log, log is a tricky thing to grade, and I have been shooting with log for a long time. And if you're just going to do it by eye or just rely on LUTs, it's pretty tricky to get the colors right, because when your exposures change, the LUTs and color correction that you might do as per like a duplicate onto every video you have changes, because the exposure affects the colors and how much you bring it up. So you need some sort of guide or system if you want to have consistency. In my videos, I noticed that when I was doing them, the color, just by doing them by eye and adding LUTs, varied. And even though it was exactly the same lighting, exactly the same situation, I found it very hard to be consistent. So I went and got myself one of these, a grey card, and also a color card. Now this one's a Spider Checker 24, but you could use any color card, it doesn't matter. But this gives you some guide. So when you put these up onto the screen, you've got a system there where you've got the colors and the grey card for you as a reference to when you go and color up your picture. So what you can do is you can look at the grey card and you can compare it, and then you can look at the color chart and you can compare that. Now, the Spider Checker 24 comes with some software. I don't use that software, but you can use that software which will do that automatically for you and correct your picture, or you can make a LUT from that and the grey card. But there is ways using your scopes and also by eye, you can get the colors very accurate, and not just the colors, but the darkness, because when you change the darkness of a picture, you know, you put a little bit more contrast, or you change the gamma, or you're just adding more of the LUT, the color of it will change. So what could happen is this grey could look more blacker or could look more white, and the colors on this color chart, even though the colors may be correct, the colors may be lighter or darker than what they look when you actually look at the card. So that gives you that reference. Now we're going to go over to the computer, and we're going to go and have a look how we do that actually in post. Well, here you can see this is straight out of camera, and this is the log footage, and you can see that it's like very faded. And what we need to do is bring that color back. Well, just to get started, I'm using the Filmic D-Log that comes with the application, and I use a few of these to get in the ballpark. Now you can see here on the scope that the grey card is showing, and as you adjust the colors, you can see that the grey card scopes move for the colors. Now you want to align them so they're perfectly aligned, and that gives you a good neutral point to start off with. Now here you can see that I've used a number of the Filmic D-Logs, and I also use my own R3 LUT that I made myself, but you could use some LUT that you've purchased. And what you do is you adjust these so you get to a point where the color depth, or the darkness, if you want to call it, is equal to the color that you have on your card. So you just adjust this and you get the colors so they're equal, and then we can run through the video where we haven't got the cards, and you can see if you like the coloring or not. Now I like that pretty good. The face looks a little bit red, so I will probably change that around just to take out a little bit of red. So I like a little bit more golden than red, and but I also like to have the background fairly dark. So that's what I do to get that coloring correct in there. Now, what I normally do is correct it first, and then I adjust it so the coloring is as I like it. So we're starting from an equal base every time we do our color grading. So what we do is we correct it so the cards look the same, and then you fiddle with it to bring in the tones that you prefer personally, which is obviously your product and your look. So that's what I like to do there. And you can see here that I'm adjusting one of the Filmic D-Log 2s, because when I adjust the Filmic ones, it doesn't adjust the color so much, but when I adjust my R3, because I've made that more golden, it adjusts the color. Now, this is how you get it accurate. because I've got an iPad, I can't use the software that comes with the Spider Checker 24. So I bring the color card near my iPad, and what I do is I match the color. So this may not be dead perfect, but it's pretty damn close, and you can see that all of the colors, you look for your color card and you adjust it, you adjust your LUTs and you adjust your colors to get that as close as you possibly can. Well, guys, that's how you use a gray card and you use a color card to get your log footage back to a consistent level. So you know when you use these that the photo you've got, even though it may not be perfect, it will be consistent, and then you can just adjust it to how you like it to look. So your reference and your point of reference that you're bringing the photo back to is consistent. And if you can use these as much as you can, even if you're outdoors and you're working quickly, if you can just hold up these, it just makes it so much easier when you get back into post to color up your videos. Well, anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it for WAYNOS Photos cameras, and I will see you next vid.